Oh, coming live at you. Okay, we all are on. Okay, we all are on. Okay, we've had some interesting lives uh, this past day. So I just want to do just a regular thing. Hold on, I'm still here. I didn't run off. I already have everything I need. All right. I just wanted to turn on the light. There. Now you can't say. I mean, the lighting is a little. I mean, staging wise, yeah, I know it could. Do the whole bright vibration. Give me that peachy look. But this light is a ring light. So, but hey, I'm not sitting here in the dark. Totally. Yeah, it's just a little bit of an overcast, clear skies. It's gonna be a bright, clear sky. It's beautiful. Can you feel it in the air? Yeah. Fall is entering in. We're getting closer to fall. Yeah, Leo is a fall vibration. Have you noticed that all of the summer signs are all like all summer signs all summer signs, excuse me, all fire signs are spring, summer, fall, not winter. So yeah, we're wrapping up the fire signs, wrapping it up with Leo, of which is not quite fall, I don't think. Yeah, but constellation wise, I would say it's uh it's fall. And then we enter into those that late fall vibration uh into the winter vibrations. Anyway, so yeah, I'm here, made it 7 o'clock early, a brand new conversation. I thought I'd be the first one to chat, to say something positive. So yeah. So I entered into something, and I entered a positive conversation here, to kind of start us off, with a little bit of like lift you up a little bit. And yes, so I did a kind of like a run, like, we learned a lot. We discovered, yeah, we can now do our presentations. So we can get pretty creative here. So yeah, but education is wonderful. You know what's better? When you can cite and source your education. That's always good. So yes. So it's not coming out of nowhere. Because we have to correct information. We have to correct. That's what Age of Pisces is about, perfect information. But we're not. We're in Aquarius. We're becoming aware of information, other information than we know narrowly. hmm Which means, yes, I will show where I find these wonderful words that we just use, generously. And it's good to see that those words didn't just happen in the last 40 years, I would think. And wouldn't that be 40 years? Something like that, for 50 years. These words have been around, even the way that we spell them, even where we capitalize the letters. So I'm just wanting to share with you that it has a logic, it has a rhythm, it has a pattern. And Well, you know, since people always ask me, well, how did you do that? Well, when I tell you, you're going to claim, I guess you're going to say, oh gosh, you didn't say disclaimer, spoiler alert. The disclaimer is these words that are fancy and seem spiritual have been around for centuries. And, uh, and this is where, it's taken a long time for us to develop these special sciences. We just have to remember that. They didn't happen overnight. And it didn't happen when Young and others, not just Young, but others, but Young is most notable, brought that information over. You know, he's very, I guess, specific where he got it. So he says, "Hey, I tell you, it came from the east. You need it." And this is just what I was just able to bring back. Just imagine what you'll go to find. So yeah, so we're gonna keep on building up this information so that hopefully you will learn what I have learned. That's why I can freely move about, and everyone always sees me as a psychic. No one challenges my psychic abilities. They never, say, gosh, I had a reading with you and gosh, it was a mess. That's why, oh, wow, one thing is for certain, what you say, your predictions, your time frames, you get a 100. It reflects in my rating, my star rating. It also reflects in my, whenever I run into people and they say, I know you and they tell me where line they worked with me, it's always, everything you said happened. It was like, yeah, the time rise, with whom, with what. I didn't even know what I was going to do for a career. I talked with you, and I didn't even know when you told me what I was going to be doing. I didn't even know where it was even going to come from. I didn't even know where to start to go even begin to train for these things. And it happened. I do that for my living for the past 6 years. Those are my encounters. Even as I'm reading as a young one, as a, a child slash teen, uh, my friends who I've read with contact me and let me know everything you said. I've got the children, exactly the number, the daughter. I actually grew up and became a counselor, and so it's like you're right. So yeah, uh-huh. I've had friends that reached out that actually work with like SEO. They're like, "Hey, let me help you," and I'm like, "I got it. Live your job is now to live that life." Yeah, that is like I don't, I don't want anybody taking over. I already know SEO, by the way. I know SEO. Oh god. Hmm. And we're talking about childhood dreams. These are people I used to party with as a teenager. Okay, all right. The kind of like you go who the person you come to visit. And you're like, so what are you gonna do when you grow up? That group, literally. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I've always had excellence, always. And by the way, I've learned since now what I know right now, sitting here right now, is beyond what I knew then. But that was it. This is what I've been able to accomplish as a young one, till and leading up to now, where, of course, I work with everyone. So that is my intention, and I cannot shake that. You know, but we can still have great conversations. I still love to talk, um, and I will answer questions or whatever the conversations that I guess happens that raises. We will have that conversation. So yeah, I obviously I have my own journey. So you know, this is probably a place where you can, gain information, gain knowledge, like exactly what do you do? What, like psychics, I mean, what do psychics, what are they for? And um, I can answer that. I'm qualified. I'm a qualifier. I wish that I was like I would say how you say that. I wish there was a way of illustrating that I'm not a special case, like an anomaly. I couldn't be the only psychic. I know that I'm not the only psychic, but the way that I work with people, it's so uplifting and powerful and beneficial. It's non beneficial, not in any way. The information that I share is all beneficial, even if it's not to the client's liking. So like if it's if it's an answer that I have to deliver, it's even that answer that is saying, well, maybe this isn't going to work out the way you intended. It's still beneficial because it always follows up with like, okay, why? It explains why and what the even when people say, well, I don't really need that. I don't really care for that. Usually it's something like something they can never imagine how wonderful it is going to be. Please give us advice for developing our skills, unintentional, uncontrolled ones for intent. Yeah. And, working with intentions, what you're going to want to do, regardless of what it is, all you need to do is, it's like creating an affirmation. But when you create the mind conversation, I'm not going to say mindset. When you create the mind, the mental, because sometimes like we're in a mental conversation, and I mean, okay, when I was here in that space, I would say things that would like reverse everything that I was trying to do. Like, I don't feel like getting up today, or well, because they canceled my show for tonight, or they put on a rerun. I can't enjoy the show. I can't enjoy, peaceful just consumption of used to when we used to watch television. All the way to I my friend didn't pay me my $5, and I was gonna get that $5, go grab some apples and sit down and do my assignments. So it's like we speak ourselves and we don't even realize it, that we are literally intentionally, but yet unintentionally navigating ourselves into not connecting with our talents, skills, gifts. Oh, I can't go practice basketball this evening because my friend just got grounded. I'm using the whole generic, like baby thoughts here. We can start with the baby thoughts, but now you can elevate those to being in the corporate space. You know, I started this new program where I'm not going to be late, and it's day 6, and I said, well, I've been doing well for the past 6 days. And then just because something just gets us, off our what we thought in our mind, the way that it was going to manifest, we like, well, I can come in a little late on the 7th day. You do, and then it becomes a big deal. They're like, okay, you're going to get a little write up. And you're like, what? You've never written me up before. Like, why now? It's an energetic thing. You are supposed to stick with your intentions out in the universe, and keep the scales balanced. Scales became a little bit imbalanced, and scales balance themselves because there's other people co-creating. So you have to always, my clients struggle with this one. You have to remember that when you are creating your intentions, you're not the only one creating. So it's kind of like thinking of your, okay, so you know what a plane is. So if this is a plane, well, this is not a plane yet, this is a segment. So this would be like a timeline. So we say predict something. So I predict on this day, this time, then there's an intersection. And then that's when we become on a plane. Now, when and speaking of dimensions, if you're just like, okay, one tap means first dimension, you're just there. Second tap, that's you and you are you. Second dimension, you can observe. When you recognize that there's another tap or another sentient, that's when it becomes three dimensional. So we're in 3D world. That means this 3D dimension, you're not the only one who's sentient. When it's one, you're just there. Two, you're becoming sentient. When you recognize there's another person or sentient person, then you're in the 3D world. So if we stick right there for a second, this is why you want to be, yes, quite intentional in what you intend to present to the universe, but you also have to consider other people's intentions. So whenever you create intentions, personalize it. Personalize it. So instead of thinking, when I get there, my boss is going to be smiling at me at the door. And their boss is going to get along with me just fine. Rather, you want to say, when I see my boss, I am going to be so focused and getting work done. I love the feeling of when I have completed assignments 30 minutes early. Or I love the feeling of completing assignments and the success feeling that overwhelms me. I just love that feeling, the thought of I did what I came to do, what I was supposed to do. And regardless if coworker shows up or nay, or they're going to give me a, we always get into, a headbutting match, like who's right. Regardless, I am so motivated to come in. Now, of course, if you're thinking in terms of partnership, you want to definitely do that because they have their own intention. And so that's where you're co-creating. But you can still manifest what you desire because when you put out your intentions, the one who's connecting with your intention is there to help you fulfill your intention as they're fulfilling their own. So you have to in our programming, we had to go into our mind with intention, and also focus and concentration is different. So you also have to focus. Focus can mean um, um, focus is the absent part of concentrating, I guess, that people sometimes are missing. They're said that, I mean, they are concentrating, but they're not focused. So, which is different. So focus in the way I like to think of focus in terms of affirmation is, let's say you decide to write down your intention. And so what I would do, well, what I was tell my clients do, write it down and tuck it away. You could put it in your back pocket or in your purse, side purse. You could put it in your top dresser drawer, but put it out of sight, out of mind. Because each time that you recall it, then go out the door. You won't be thinking about, you're just thinking about the bagel and the, maybe, an orange juice or something, caffeine, whatever. So you're on your way, and then, but somewhere around throughout the day, or if it's like 2 days later, don't worry, you'll improve. You'll be reminded of that affirmation, and then naturally your mind will start to present that affirmation or speak it in your mind as a mantra. So which then that also means that you're manifesting. So when you start to see that affirmation that you've tucked away, your mind's beginning to create that as a thought. So yes, you can plant thoughts in your own mind, that we call, it's referred to as programming in my studies in metaphysical sciences. So yeah, you can program, reprogram, um, get rid of old programs even or routines. Yeah, yeah. So this is good. This is a wonderful place to start developing, like sharpening your personal skills. Let's say like writing, reading better, whatever it is, all the way to all the spiritual stuff as well. Yeah. So yeah, well, all that all the way to spiritual things as well. That end part. But no, you have to include all of that so that because so many people they only hear parts, kind of like scriptures, but you don't have the full scope. Because if you have the full foundation, like formulas, like studying high advanced mathematic, right? What do your instructions say you need? You need foundational mathematical methods, right? You need basic formula. So this is the groundwork in which all creating for intentions, including the development of skills in all areas, not just psychic, but also in practical ends of for life. So yeah, so start there, and also if I may extend that, the psychic ability is to incorporate that to perfecting your skills in life. So that's how this is where you start. This is where you begin. This is where you begin to become a professional expert psychic, a psychic who works with famous psychics say, hey, I would like you to read for my clients because I'm awfully busy. I'm doing book tours, I'm on television, on stage, I do events, I just do so much. Michelle Knight, her team just reached out to me and said she just released a book called The Power Within. Discover ways to becoming empowered in 7 different ways, and it's on Amazon. Just look up Michelle Knight new book, and yeah, hmm so I'm giving you information that's going to set you on your journey. Being done, I have a whole degree in metaphysical sciences. We believe that as practitioners, what makes a practitioner? Someone who can apply the practice into their own daily life. So as a practitioner, someone who takes that information, a metaphysical practitioner, and then apply it to life. So this is information that you're going to apply to your life. Oh, by the way, for the rest of your life, so it's priceless. You can't put a price on something is you will have for the rest of your life, and you just will know how to do it forever. Yeah. So this is where so start here at these foundational building blocks, and then as you get a handle on that, then the natural building blocks, because you'll also become creative in the sense that you will have the ability to decide, well, what's actual skills, human skills that you want to develop. Psychic is not separate from human skills. So psychic skills are not separate from human skills. Their psychic skills is like piano skills, piano lesson skills. So that means that there is a format, a process in which one becomes perfected, and this is your beginning steps. So start here, get that under your belt, be able to follow through. The purpose of the psychic service is to help others. But you have to, anyone who goes to an expert, right? If I go to a doctor, I don't want someone half knowing what they're doing. I want she and or, to know exactly what they're doing. So when I say that, I mean, when you come to a psychic, you want that psychic to know what in the world they are talking about, right? So this is you understanding how the gifts, how connecting and growing, expanding on skills, psychic skills extended works. So there you go. Spiritual gifts are actually for practical purposes because you don't actually, okay, so the quote is the scripture says you don't a person can have a happy life and not um, pursue spiritual gifts because it's not a requirement. So you can be just as happy and bliss without even studying spiritual gifts. However, we're encouraged to study the spiritual gifts because for the gifts are then what are the gifts? These gifts are in place for practical reasons. So it's for personal growth. It helps you to connect with the world around, very, very mundane things. It doesn't become so. In other words, psychic versus mysticism. An atheist, a non-believer, you don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to believe in the whole Abrahamic beliefs to be a psychic. You don't have to believe in anything to be a psychic. Okay, so it's a practical tool. So that's why you need you must approach it in a practical way to develop it, like learning to tie your shoes, and also learning to dribble a ball or throw a football. You practice that and you perfect in the skill. But this is the place to start. Start with understanding your mind, your mental process first. And then I'm gonna yield there. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah. I'm going to well as okay, so as I reach 3,000 followers, I'm going to get even more into these kinds of subjects, by the way. So more advanced. This is, I would say, intermediary. So it's challenging, this process, this project, mental exercise. It is challenging. It's actually university level taught. So it's taught in metaphysical sciences, um, and but it's the right way to go. That's why I'm sharing it with you. It's university and it's metaphysical. That means psychic connection. Oh yeah, the difference between psychic and mysticism. You don't become a mystic until you acknowledge that there's a force outside yourself or a God outside yourself. That's what mysticism is. Mysticism is the awareness that God is everywhere, or universe is, the universe, concept of universe being everywhere. So yeah, so my point is not to tell you to which one is higher, but there's greater purposes for becoming a psychic, and then also very practical reasons as well on a microcosmic level to becoming a psychic, or to just developing your abilities, which is mental, So you're starting here in the mental where your foundation is. That's where I'm going to start you today. So you start that journey, get good at that first, and so become somewhat mastered in that area. Yeah, because you have to be able to focus. No, who wants to speak to somebody who they can't follow in a conversation? But also, if you're being that we're talking about psychic, that means your wandering mind. So yeah, so because if your mind is wandering, how in the world you're going to conceptualize what you're mentally perceiving or what you're mentally viewing? So trust the process and start there. You're not being great. I'm not grading you. It's not for a grade. But if you want to become a expert professional psychic who's never had to have any other job but being a psychic all their life, even as a from even when I was a child, a teen, my weekend job was part of a psychic organization called Opera in Oklahoma. So it's Opera stands for Organization Psychic Educational Research Association. Yeah, so I would work there on the weekends and I would do readings for the public. So I'm giving you real sound experience information and also When I speak of metaphysics, I don't mean, a lot of books I read. I mean, I have degrees in the metaphysical sciences. So I'm giving you real place to start your journey, and I hope that the journey is exciting to you. Think of it as it's a mental voyage, but it's also a very powerful one. Remember, psyche is an attribute of the psyche. Psyche means soul, right? And then when you go a little lower, it's psychic. So it's part of the psyche, the mental makeup. So yes, we are in the mind. So, all right, all right. Good job. You can do it. I believe in you. I want to hear about your progress. Yeah, I want to hear of your progress. And I love formulas too. Formulas are amazing. Every year, my I get it's like I get extensions of new gifts. So I've already begun getting up to date research on what I'm to study because every year the way that I read changes. It shifts. So the way that I read for 2025 will not be the same that I read for 2026. Every year, my style of reading changes. And also as does the information, like the theme. This year's theme was about partnerships, marriages, and people meeting their soulmates. And you probably have heard at least one or two people getting married. They're like, wow, everybody's getting married. Yeah, this is that year. Some people are planning for marriage in the next year over. I'm still getting information about what 2026 is going to be about. I have a hunch, though, that it's about um, now that people are married, now what? So I had a glimpse to where there's conversations of like these partnerships and how it relates to like work. Hmm. And I've had like types of like men and women who have a lot of like choice picks, I guess, picks of romance, and they meet someone. I mean, my men don't even sound the same. My men sound like you can tell in the voice this man's in love with this woman, and he's like, I'm just trying to figure it out. You could tell like his whole soul is like pulled out of him. Like he's speaking from his heart. I'm like, what is like where's my friend? He's like, oh, my friend's in love. I get it. I get it. I see it. So, mm-hmm. So yeah, so men get like that too. Men lose their marbles too. Women, just in case you want to know, I'm like literally hearing it in his voice. Of course I'm hearing in her voice, but definitely in his voice when like I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened, but I can't stop thinking about this person. This is where he's at. That's like, and this is the one that out of the five, he said, no way. It's like he knew I got to stay away from that one. Like, no, 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 no. Shit. We're too close. No, 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 no. And all of the other ones, they didn't work out. And I was like, mm-hmm. And every now and then he'd bring her up, but he wouldn't let me say too much. He would hush me up. But now, yeah, now it's full on. Now they're hanging out. They're doing dinners. They're saying, they're doing the, I mean, I love you. And he didn't understand why. See, he didn't understand why this one is different. He didn't understand why she has not like leaped on him and tackled him yet. He's used to like, ladies kind of telling, like, because, he's high end. He's above, let's put it this way. He's beyond um, uh, the high value. High value is where it starts. He's past that. High value is like, that's his lower class. So okay, so he's used to women asking for what they want, and this one is like doesn't do that. He's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Does she not know? Like we could be on a private plane tonight. He's more like that, and he's like, well, I can't. He's like, she don't know how I can't continue with her. I'm like, mhm. I'm here. I'm listening. Oh, sure. I get it. You need her to say what she wants, and she's gonna say what she wants, but it's her personality. That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm already telling you. Remember, you get into this intention. I mean, it's okay to be inspired, but don't be like, like by the gods and by genies and by leprechauns. Isn't, be inspired, by witches and warlocks and, all powerful beings, of the mythos. Just remember there's co-creating. And when I mean by co-creating, so if, like, back to this plane bit, these people who are also sentient, they have their own personalities. So you can't like magnetize someone's personality to change for your intentions. It doesn't work like that. Like they could support your intentions and still maintain their personality. So she's going to open up to him, but it's going to be her personality, which is not tackling him. Because only one thing he wants to do is express her feelings, her emotions, like to speak up about them. She is, but the way she does it is that she's very gracious, and she's modest. Like he can compliment her, but she's not the kind of he's expecting her to say, yeah, I know, yeah, like I'm bad, and like kick her feet like up on his lap and like, yeah, let's do this. Like that's not her personality. She'd probably be more like, that thank you. Like as she has always said, thank you. That's much. I feel the same. I think about you too. And I said, I'm here right now. So she already gave me three things how she would say it, three occasions and how she would respond to him, which is nothing he's ever seen before. And I'm like, I told him, but not the part like I know it's nothing that you've seen before. But I just said, well, this is what she's gonna say it. She will say it, but she'll say it more like this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is this because that's yeah, we have to acknowledge people's personalities. That's all I wanted to share with you in parting, because I know that you're busy, but yeah, you're gonna be good. Hmm. You're gonna be good at this. And by the way, when I work with my clients, their intuition and their psychic abilities and their ability to hear God and also the angels and loved ones on the other side also goes up. Yeah, they do like start listening to themselves. They do. Hmm. That means, yeah, you can get good at it. I even have some that like they start to dream a lot, and they even can kind of navigate their dreams. In the most part, at least they're in the ballpark. They may not get the little details, but they're in the ballpark, so they get better at it. But it doesn't mean that they worry. They're like, well, if I get good at this, I want to contact you. It's like, well, you'll contact me for other reasons, not this one. Which happens. So when other things happen, they're like back in touch with me about other things other than what we talked about 6 months ago, with 3 months, whatever, how long it takes for it to all come to pass. Meaning, as a psychic, because it's about, since I said it was something for something higher than just psychic abilities, right? So you should feel a transcendence, and we'll get back to this in a minute. A pleasure, Donald. Yeah. Oh, sure thing. Well, we'll let the spirit guide us. Welcome, a pleasure. Donald here. Good to speak with you today, and hope you are having a great day. So, where will we like to start? The way that I work is I like to know where people's thoughts are to begin our reading, so that we put all the pieces together. You can refer to me as, well, my PIN number is 4074, and you can refer to me as Donald. I like to keep it simple. And people, they work with me, throughout the day, but I help them to transcend the reading and to be able to move on. Sure, you have a question now. Good. Okay, let's start your reading. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Oh, okay. Sure, that's an easy question for me to. I don't ask questions. I just channel the guides, and they will answer quickly. So, what I can see in 1 minute or less is that yes, she will want to reconcile, but right now, it might be a bit incompatible. Have you noticed that sometimes maybe you two don't travel or do anything big together? It may be because there needs to be an understanding before it happens. Yes, there are egos involved. Your friend may have an ego a bit. There might be a little bit of, jealousy sometimes. Just sometimes, that way awakens. But are the two of you friends and will remain friends? Absolutely, yes. And it's safe to say that you two will come back together again. September is when. I just want to be clear that the timing is for you, that in September she'll come back as a friend. The information I share is for a reason, okay? The information I share is always for a reason. I just will give you a time and date that she comes back, that's all, in September. Okay. So what new questions do you have today? Well, I gave you a time frame. Did you hear my time frame that I gave that she comes back? Well, I said that in the next month over is a time frame. Did you hear that? Well, it says that the two of you have a bit ego problem, and that sometimes there's jealousy that happens between the both of you, is also what I mentioned. And that, yes, you two can still grow and become closer, but it may take some work so that you two can maybe travel and do some things together, like big things together as friends. That's what I said. Okay. All right, love. Have a great day. Okay. Uh, she was trying to be rude and snappy. I don't care about your frustration. Your frustrations are not my problem. And stop acting like, how dare you talk? I don't hear you. Because no, you need to hear what I said. Because what if you say that you don't hear me and you try to kiss me or hug me or something and I didn't give you permission and I said no, but you're like, oh, I didn't hear you. And now we have a problem. So yeah, you need to hear me, what I'm saying to you, so that you know exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. So I don't let people get away with that. I'm like, you hear me? You're trying to test. And no, I'm not trying to pull anyone with bad attitude close. No, I'm nice, soft landing, but no, you're gonna hear everything I have to say. And yeah, and I don't care about your frustration. If you're frustrated, I'm gonna dig in it. I'm gonna. You call me and you're like, well, I get a bit frustrated. I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna frustrate you intentionally even more. Okay, because what I'm saying is important. People are weird. Like, don't come over here trying to make me look bad at my job. Are you crazy? No, you're not all there. And yeah, if you're not all there, how do you handle calls if they're not all there? Easy, hang up. Say, excuse me, I have to go now. That's how you handle that period. So, all right. So, um, obviously, did we mend them together? Well, I don't think it was a real call, but yeah, we did mend everybody together. Hopefully, you know, um, yeah. You know, the test cost feels like more like I wonder if what would happen if psychic met someone like this, because in actuality, my real clients, they're very calm, and they're not going out of their way to be different. These test calls are not real. They're not going out of their way to be. They're going out of their way to be different. Clients are not going out of the way to be different. Clients are like, I'm paying for this call. I want my answers. Don't let me be the only one talking here. Oh, but yeah, yeah. So don't call me talking about, I stop right there because I get extremely frustrated. I'm gonna light you up. I'm gonna like, girl, get frustrated with, or boy, like, yeah, let some of that out. What are you doing, holding all that in? So, yeah, I want to pop it so that you can begin to like say, "Wow, it's so bright. Look at this world." Anyways, it was a good reading, but yeah. Anyway, that's how I deal with it. But anyway, that's why I'm the best instructor. Like somebody asked, "How do I do this?" No, no, I mean this. And I was like, "No, no, no, I have it right. Listen, that see that like yeah, you frustrated. Yeah, yeah, no, 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 this one. No, no, it's everything I just said and an extension. That's why I added that. Period. But yeah, hmm let's see. Let's see. Donald here. A pleasure working with you today. I'm Donald. And so, where would we like to begin? Mhm. Sure. Okay, well, let's take a look. Immediately goes right into work, and it does have here like the four corners here, meaning that there's still a decision, maybe open decision to be making. Your time frame is definitely saying September. There's a lot going on. September is going to be very busy for new beginnings, so you got to get through this week. I know this week is a little. It feels a little like we're waiting for something to happen. This is also where you meet the people with aligned with work. There's a lot of like maybe relaying of information, meeting up with people, maybe meetings of sorts, contracts. So agreements are also made, but this agreement will means it will take you to a new space by October. So you could be moving into a new space by end of summer. It could be already have like I know where I'm going, what department or new space I'm entering. So that's also a for sure thing. I love it because it's specifically talking about money. Money by the new year, you would be in your new space or having crossed over into the new environment, work environment. Yes. So positions in store. Now they also said you have a few visions here, partnership wise, longevity, long term. Like maybe you would say, well, what I'm going to be doing over the next year or 8 months. Long term financially work. It feels like you have a proper vision, and a lot of path numbers here that represent you're going to have help with it, by the way. Like it'll be a harmonious place, especially as you like moving towards early spring, like March. Yeah, a lot will have happened by then. Oh, I like it. You're going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. Yes. This that's in fact something that manifests, because very clear, very detailed, is that it moves into fruition. Something in this realm of receiving money to this completion, where it's official that it's yours, it's a new owner. That's right. That's right. Fruition is a beautiful word. Fruition. And so it represents that by specifically, these things are meant to take place by, this is more like a, they mentioned by end of year. So I'm thinking, by November. So it would need to happen in this time frame. But they also represent within a month's time. And so in a month's time, what is more or less saying, so as you move into October month, so that's also what they're referring to as well. So this is something to keep in mind, it's something to know, because this allows you to go forward into the new space that you're going to be entering as well. So like keeping like business wise, and with the meetings and everyone else who's co-creating, you want to keep a special eye on these things, because it moves everything into this new direction in which you're going. With everyone enjoying, that means that these are your soul tribe. These are people who are meant to work with you to uplift you successfully. Well, the guides here illustrate, of course, that the incoming messages, something like incoming that's meant to happen as well within this time set, it's also to prepare you for 2026. So you're already working on plans that's regarding 2026. So, and because what I was reading in last year, as we bring in I always get information a year in advance sometimes, and what they said that in your universal space, you would have to map out this year to bring in the next year, and that's going to be the long term effects. Connect. This is where like businesses that how when we think of businesses as legacies. So this would be something that you are putting all of your energy in. That's supposed to represent the new era, even. Hmm. So this is you crossing into the new year in this way. Yes, I love luck. And Jupiter, by the way, is the business planet and the planet of luck. So let's have at it. Let's take all the luck in the universe. This is good. Yes, indeed. Mm, okay. Yo. Whew. They be trying to come for me. Okay. Hmm. I'm so happy that her business is gonna like explode, not implode, explode. Her business is gonna be big. Yeah, beautiful big business. Wonderful. That's great to hear. So, um, whoops. Wonderful things are coming up. Yep. Yeah, so very interesting and lovely path upcoming. Very good. Oh my gosh. Um, I'm doing a little bit of shuffling here. Get my little shuffle. Let me see. Are we good? Okay. Everybody's good. Okay. I'm just making sure. Okay, so what was our last piece of conversation? Oh yeah, what is psychic for? Transcendence. So the purpose, the service of a psychic is to help people to transcend your consciousness. Psychic is a part of the psyche. Okay, it's connected to the, and psyche it means soul. Somebody was kind of confused on that. They were trying to say psychic is soul. No, that's incorrect. Psyche means soul in Greek. So it's psyche, and then beneath that is psychic, and then there's other planes that represent, like, okay, so you have a universal consciousness, then you have a personal universal consciousness, or personal plane, or personal psychic space. And so it's to help you yourself to transcend. Just because you're psychic doesn't mean that you're seeking after mysticism. Therefore, we can write, therefore, it's you can move from one mundane chapter or space to another, but I mean transcend. So, yeah, you can move from position to position, but we're talking about transcending as in unity with your higher mind. That is going to take a little bit extra. It's a little bit extra because it's connected to things. Unity is, or unity to higher self, it's connected to the concept of mysticism, which, for the higher spiritual intellect, which you will want eventually, because it just won't be enough just to be able to know what card is coming up next, and then you'll want the higher stuff, and that's going to require you to become unified with your higher self. So then you have to understand transcendence. Of course, that's what psychic is was for in the first place. But you can always stay exactly where you are and not transcend necessarily. It doesn't make you a bad person either. Because you could still enjoy life, have the joys and happiness of life. But it's recommended by spirit to transcend your path. I know one thing, as much as I love my clients, I I mean, I do want them to transcend, meaning move up, move on to higher things. So, yeah, and trust and believe they are definitely not in the like it's not the be mystical time. We're specifically focusing on the practical things of life, practical applications of life. When I'm speaking to clients who are paying and they're not paying to hear about, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints. No, they're not here to listen to that. They probably already have been listening to that already. No, they are here to elevate in the practical way, in the secular world, even in the terms of relationships, even in matters of the heart, is to elevate in a more grounded, down to earth way. And then occasionally, if we're lucky, usually after they have witnessed so much of like moving from one space to another on the timeline, that they do become intrigued and then a little bit open to something greater. Some will may want to hear spiritual things without actually calling it spiritual. They just want something that is profoundly strong enough to draw them in. So, yeah, so there's that. So, therefore, you will not say, like words that then become trigger words, like, hardly you might even say universe, but let alone like God, Jesus, Christ, Mary, Mother. I mean, Mother, you could say Mother as in the Divine Mother. You can get away with that. But, Saint John, yeah, you don't say those words. Those are trigger words. So I know you're like, you should be able to, it's like, well, you should be able to do it in your workspace. So in my workspace, I work with people from all over the world, and they even have their own gods and religions, and it isn't Abrahamic. Though some are. I have a few that are actually, meaning Christian, um, and so like there's other. That's when you say why do y'all say universe as opposed to God or Jesus or Jehovah or Yahweh? Well, that's because when there's thousands of people, and not all of them are Abrahamic believers or Christian. There are other things. So when you say universe, you're saying I'm speaking on golden rules, golden principles of the universe, the laws of the universe, and I'm speaking to everyone inclusion, because you can say be a better person in anyone's language. You can say be a better person in everyone's culture without having to um, what do they call it? Isolate any one group. We don't have to isolate no group, and every culture knows what it means to be a better person for today. And then whatever in their walk in life and how they're seeking after unity with the higher self, that's for a psychic, that's up to them. But did I help them become? Did I help them to see bigger things and greater things in their journey as an individual? And then if they happen to come across a great sage, who's going to teach them, the meaning of life or a prophet of sorts, then they will. They'll find that, and they'll be mentally ready on a soul level. They'll be ready. But as you know, if you were here yesterday, you know we do get into scriptures. So we do we do yeah we do get into the also the Bhagavad Gita. We get into all of that. So anyway, um, so I'm definitely gonna help. That's what a lot of like the members are gonna be for, is to help people to begin sharing tools with them, developing their ability to become great and to experience their own definition of greatness. We're working on that. We're getting there. My watch hours are going up, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be on the journey. We're on the journey. We're on our way. I'm yeah, I'm so used to seeing. Okay, usually we're like I'm like I racked up like I was at like 100 watch hours. Now I have like 300 watch hours. So it's happening. It's going up every day. My watch hours are going up, and I'm telling you, the moment that I see 500 watch hours, I'm gonna be so happy. I think I'll be motivated, but I know it's gonna take 1,000 watch hours. Then I know that okay, I'm well on my way. I'm becoming motivated, and I can't wait to produce like definitely writing is becoming the thing. I'm definitely this year they already told me you have to write. I'm writing, but I mean like write for people. I have you already know I have so many of these stacks and stacks of filled of notes of experiences, what I've learned, astrological things, formulas, psychic predictions. If you've seen me do someone's, I have my own spirit taught me my own style of interpreting uh, charts. So I do it in the form of formulas, mathematical formulas that work every time, and that even correspond to like the different degrees that they have, like synchronicities, like 40%, 150, etc., 180. Yep. Mm-hmm. And basically, I think they even for fun they teach you something like with trigonometry, because it's a wheel, and you can do things with the trigonometry, like in terms of like equilibrium, which is a bit of physics. But anyways, I have my own way of doing that type of work, and writing is coming through this extended channel. Um, I wrote one word. It appears like it's gonna have something to do with abstract mathematics, which, by the way, is in the colleges. They already have abstract mathematics, which is similar to what I do. The only thing that's like they can explain like a person's like personality, what they might do. That's what it's kind of there to teach. That's something that I do in my psychic readings. So it's like, oh, and I even like I deduce and induce the same way. So I was like, that's fascinating. Yeah, they have a mathematics for that, for what I do. So I was amazed to find that. I went hunting for it. I was like, do you guys have like abstract mathematics yet? And yeah, they do. So, anyways, I'm this year it was revealed to me that so I had the formulas that talk about the stars. Then I can interpret it with traditional tarot cards now, and then so there's all these formulas. But now I'm able to I'm learning to interpret it, and like I think it's my understanding is like it's very specific type of information and match it to like give it time and date. Um, and it's attributed to abstract math, like abstract mathematic type of format. But I'll keep you informed because I just got it. So I have to study it myself. And so I have to break out some books. I have so many books like around me, but now I have to go break out notes like, no, we need the other books. I'm like, oh boy, I got to go hunting for them. I think I know where they are though. But I definitely am going to be very happy and pleased to tell of my progress. Hmm. Yeah. And yeah, so there are, okay, so I have a lot of information that I share openly, like I share with my clients even. So, but I also have studies that I have not shared as well, volumes, and I vetted it for, is it real metaphysical science stuff? So it is. I vetted it already, and so I'm going to actually share that in members. So there's certain things. There's some things that I've already said it. Like we said it so much. It should be. Everyone should know this part of the information. Everybody should know this. So that's why I'm sharing it. Um, Something of value. Something that you can add to your life forever. So you can't place a price on it. It's priceless. Um, so there's plenty of things to share with you, yes. Then there's things that studies that I haven't. Well, first of all, uh, I haven't shared everything. You just know what I like, what extra stuff I know as I go, more or less. When the issues come up, it's like, oh yeah, there's this time I studied. It's like, oh gosh, like how much more do you know? A lot. And also things that when I start studying it to share, I will actually be learning with you. So under my keen eye of being I'm an authority in my field, so I'm going to share the information correctly. But yeah, that's going to be members though. So that'll be something extra that members get. Um, yeah, so I do have an intention and a plan. And then, of course, all of the psychic elements are in it and with it, are involved in it. And the goal, tangible goal, is to do venues, live venues. Yeah. But of my creation, I'm going to be the one who creates and who directs it and all that. And yeah, I'm going to be over it, of course. So it will be to my liking. And that means it won't be disturbed, will it? Nope. And no one, will have to put me in a compromising situation in order to, gosh, I want to help so many people. Yep, I won't have to do any of that because it will be completely mine. Hmm. So there's a lot to learn, or a lot that one can learn, and what applies to you, what is learned, will be forever. And no telling what you'll be able to do with the information. My clients, you know, uh, have transcended in so many ways. Like they're forever happy with me. If I were to go, well, if I were to leave right now, leave the industry, or they can know where to contact me. I know without a shadow of doubt they're good forever. We're in each other's thoughts in a good way forever for the rest of our lives. That's how much success we've had reading with each other over the past years. So I have that real meaningful relationships and partnerships, meaningful ones. I mean, so yeah, um, they're amazing. Say, you remember that? She's women are like, gosh, You recall that? The guys are like shocked. You know, I always tell them, I say, this is the real gift, remembering every reading. That's the real gift. Not that I don't appreciate the psychic gift. Of course I do. So remember, the psychic gift is not just to be psychic. It's actually meant to transcend yourself and also help others to transcend as well. And it's very, very much for practical reasons too. I mean, in a practical way. So not necessarily spiritual until you're ready for that, till you're ready to, consider the different, like the nature of the universe, pretty much. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good day. What is, let's see, it's 26. Nice. Whoops. Hold on. Do a little bit of shuffling here. I have to get my cards shuffled. Let's see. We have here. I just want to be ready. We haven't gotten into the emotional stuff yet. So maybe that will happen soon. It is. Whoops. Okay. Yep, I woke up this morning and I said, there it is, that fall vibration. It felt so good. Yep, I am absolutely ready for sure. Today, oh yeah, today could be an off day actually. Could make some considerations. Could go for a nice little walk. No, that's too much to ask. Who's gonna tell you how psychic I am if I'm not here to tell you? So more and more um, people, I think, are becoming drawn to becoming their true, authentic selves. And one thing I'm really good at is finding our way out of the mental maze. So whenever, I mean, like I say, your guide, you're my guide. That is so loaded with information because yes, I guide people out of mazes, out of realities that are mazes. I can guide people out of loops. I can even expand loops, like information wise, like add new information, add new um, parallels to cycles that are actually meant to be like let out points. That's why I do it. Here's the thing about uh, somebody putting you in a cycle. It has the dimensions have to be exact to fit to fit the mechanic. So people will create a very specific dimension, and you'll stay in within it, and you'll keep going round and round. But it also it's like a mechanic, and it's pushing other things, and for this person to get ego is of the mind to get stimulation from it. So what we do is we could expand the gear, and then things start crunching up, and this person gets this whoa starts getting disturbed. you know the mechanics is they're like, whoa, what's going on? They come back to check on you, and here you're now, and you realize like you have other options, expansions of options that even trail off into other things. So these structures start to crumble, and the person is like on their back, like, whoa, they fell down on their back, and and you begin to go up and curve, and now you're on something for the first time, maybe even on a plane, or on a not on a plane, on a segment. You're on a segment, and then we start trying to get you from segment to second dimensional thinking to third dimensional thinking, and so on. So that's how we like help guide people. Um, it's kind of like quantum. It's mental quantum leaping. It's like psychic. That's a good tool to use for quantum leaping, helping people quantum leap. But of course, you have to ask them if they want to do that. You have to kind of, because you don't want to just put somebody up there like that. I mean, unless it's like dire straits, but then, when they do, they can be very disgruntled, and like feel like it's kind of like a driver, drives by and dashes you with water. That is so rude. It's so middle class, right? Oh, it's but yeah, so it's kind of like that. So yeah, it's like an awakening, like somebody pouring cold ice bucket of water over your head. And like, oh my gosh. So that's the thing, is like it's important to ask the person if, kind of like as you're guiding them, you like check in on them, like, are you okay? How would you feel if this happened? Because yeah, that person is like down on, gets like the blowback knocks that person who's set this up for them, put them in this position, compromising position. They could fall back on their backs, but the person who was in this space could literally be out of concern for that person. So you have to consider that. You have to consider all these matters that are, that's just more than like the psychic who's running around just like telling people, like, wake up, shaking people, giving them information and information that they're not even ready for. They're not even, they're like, what are you talking about? Let me go. I said it was all right. I said they could do it. What? You give them permission. Yeah. What is it? What business is it of yours? So I always, so in my guiding, I always like confirm that this is what they're ready for and this is what they're wanting to I guess to happen, more or less. They want to see this through. So they're always 100% in control. Even if they say, look, I know what I have to do, I'm not ready to do it. And I say, I can accept that. And with that, I'd like to move on from this bit and let's focus on another angle or another section or another question. So that's how yeah. So I don't force people to transcend if they're not ready or move on. I don't do that. Because sometimes they, it's their life experience. Sometimes things have to play out as they must. They play out, and when they play out, and and they know when it's done. Maybe the other person said, no, it's done. It's done. Maybe it takes that, and then it takes, people being upset that it's done. And then it's like, will you ever get to the segment, the part where I get to start helping you to channel everything treasure wise that life has to offer you? Or will you ever get there? Like, right now, no. At this minute, no. So, will it ever go back to the same? That's the thing. Once this is like, it's like it doesn't go back to ever to the way it was. That's why you have to be very clear with people that when these types of shifts happen, this is going to happen and it's now going back once it starts. Like once you, cause it's kind of like when you say words, you say them and you can't take them back. They're out there. And so with that, the memories are forever. The action is forever. But when the application is right, um, it's actually a really good thing. The changes that and the effects are actually very beneficial. I know you all are like, who told you? Who told you that? You all. Anyways, don't worry. There are going to be plenty of occasion to hear things that are helping you to become better at um, the things that interest you. So, yeah, it will happen. The conversations will happen, and also newer ones. But yes, I already know that not everyone will have access to all information that we share here. You're not going to have access to all writings, I know, teachings and things shared, information shared in this on this subject because it's going to be in members. Um, However, like books, in form of books, I will give you access to books. So that can sort of be your way of getting a hold of the information and you'll own it in some measure. because I will have released a book for you. And, you know, members will have the access to the book, but also conversations about it, and they'll, you know, be able to. I'm pretty sure that people, those who read the book, will actually be able to say, "Hey, I've got a question." Um, so I'm sure that will happen as well. On the outside, I mean, beyond the members. But don't worry, I intend to open up all the channels. So even if a person is not members, they're still going to have access to the information. So, like, in terms of like what people are learning. So that means there has to be something a little bit bigger than just members. Something that represents for something that's for members. Because I don't want that feeling of blocking people out. Because my goal is to create kind of like a tierless sort of engagement. Like, regardless, a person is able to partake in whether it's lives or conversations, they're able to be a part of it in some way, in a direct way, more or less. Now, without me actually having the tools, I can only dream about it or daydream about it. So I'm just kind of guessing because I don't know what it looks like, and in terms of like the features that will allow me to do do any of this that I'm talking about. But I just suspect that I'll be able to. So yes, we're not gonna like alienate you. No, we're not doing. That's not why I'm creating members. Um, but definitely there are going to be like lives that are members, but those in the form of like a show, and where whatever the subject is, and other types of, I guess, areas where questions are asked, specific ones, that is high level responses and direct responses at that, personal responses. Um, and I think members, I'll be able to do something with the live, like the something about the venues. I have to do something for members and venues. Somehow I have to link that. So, of course, you already heard my ideas. Venues, some venues I want it to be like open, and like what they call like open seat. Like, yeah, just come on down, kind of thing. You arrive, we'll take care of you. If you can get here, we'll take care of you. We're in your area. Hey, come on. So I'm hoping to create venues like that, which is different from the renting out a theater, or an auditorium. But yeah, we intend to do some great things, some nice things actually. And our community to us looks like many people from all over the world, races, and beliefs. So yeah, and all the in both genders. Obviously, both genders have to be there. But yeah, I'm hoping that it's um, where everybody is present, because that's the way my life has always kind of run, um, with everybody's hands on deck, regardless of where they're from, culture, upbringing, ethnicity, nationality, I was throwing race, all of it. So yeah, that would be nice. Hmm. I still believe in it. I still, call me naive, I still believe in it, because, and I know that, I mean, when there's a space and the space is completely focused in one, I guess, one tone, Of course, that's the reason why, I'm glad that it's beautiful outside, it's clear sky. Um, and hopefully, you're not actually in a world where your world runs like the internet. So I'm not speaking in the form of like internet, language, like segregation on the internet. It's more uh, like in life when I go out, I can say hi to everybody. And like work with my clients, everybody in the world, New Zealand, contact me, people from Australia contact me, so yeah, I'm able to talk to everybody. So I will want the venues like that as well. Anyway, I'm gonna keep putting that out into the universe until it manifests. So you're gonna hear me say that a lot, and I probably am gonna become so excited about the possibility of this, um, becoming a reality. I want like when as like I reach 1,000 views, I probably will like talk about this like every other live. I'm sure of it. But that's my intentions. I'm just like, please let me do it. Please let me do it. Please. I'm the one. I'm the right one. I'm the right one. Mm, yeah. So it is. Let's see. How, let me check on this real quick. Okay, we know we have 5 stars. Both numbers are in the green. That's lovely. What is our schedule like? Okay, we're doing just fine. Want to like a 10 to 10 a.m. schedule. Technically, we are off today, but yet we're working. If that makes sense. So I could have an easy day. Okay. Um, let's see here. This is nothing. Um, huh? Okay. Mhm. Um, let's take a look. Good. There, there, and all right. I just had to, my look into some things. 1 second. I recognize that. Okay. Oops. Actually, that's what it's supposed to look like. And okay. Yeah. Personal observation. Okay. So, wait. Okay. It's a perfect key. Okay, now let's see. Okay, there, work that out. Golly. Thank you, Spirit, for that insight. We have insight. So, let's see. What is this? This says, I know. Yeah, definitely the goal. The Ten of Cups. I've actually been seeing this one, the Ace. And I saw it earlier. Oh, a lot of people. Oh, okay. Um, yeah. Oh, wow. Lots of, okay. There we've got a synchronicity here. Which one are we missing? The one that seems to be missing is the sword. Yep. Ah, okay. Let's see what's going on. Let's go do a little bit of digging. Okay, so here's this. Oh, it's associated with Saturn. think we got it. We think we have it. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Okay. I better write it down. It keeps revealing itself, so. There. I can't say I didn't write it down. There we go. Now everything is clarified. Um, Guys, I need to go dig up a few books, and I don't know how long the process is gonna, because I have so many places to look. But it was a pleasure. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and um, I'm actually in school right now because every year, August 15th, I'm gaining new insight on how to present a reading. And my style of reading is going to change. So the way that I read in 2025 will be different. Different information will happen in 2026. So yeah, it starts in this part of the season and it goes all the way up to like November. By December or by end of November, I will know what's going on. I'll be in the complete know. Um, you're with us all because I'm figuring it out. The clients are going to hear about it. Y'all are going to hear about it because I'm going to share everything that I share here with the clients. I share with you all anyway. Um, and thank you for participating and helping me to reach my goal, which is someday to do live venues um, at my expense, by the way. Um, and to continue to help our minds grow, but not just psychically, but also in every way. Um, that means, yes, even in a corporate way. And I just will continue to, to try and learn as well. I have a lot that I've learned, but I'll continue to learn as much as I can. But we'll see what happens. And but either way, I'm gonna be back at 10. So I'm kind of like gonna hunt for this book for the next what is it, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and so that I can start this additional side to the formula. So it's like it just keeps building onto itself. So we've got where our formula is actually mathematical. All the numbers that are associated with astrology that we call synchronicities, they match up perfectly. Um, they match up with the placements of whatever the planet or the star or the house that I'm observing in the heavens. The information, of course, is going to be accurate. So also it matches naturally with from tarot cards all the way to scriptures. So this next extension is abstract mathematic. So so I'm curious of in this space of abstract, that's the new, I guess, the new adventure. So I need to start checking that out. But I need to get the material, uh, get a few books. I thought that I would be able to use this one, but it's too broad of a subject. And the other couple of books they're very focused in the subject matter, what I'm looking for. There's very focused in a very specific area. So I thought, well, I know that has it. I just figured that that might have it, but it's, this is more metaphysical and like the systems of things. So anyway, you'll hear all about it shortly. My findings, because it's gonna look like something soon, and I will be back, I guess. And after a few, hopefully, please come back at 10. Please come back at 10 a.m. I'm fingers crossed. If I don't, have a great day anyway, because it's actually quite beautiful. And even I kind of want to like throw it a day. I kind of want to throw it a day and just go for a walk, then come back, and then maybe like log in like around noon. Take a couple of hours because like it's literally clear sky, beautiful, like light is coming out, and I know that I felt that fall vibration earlier. I woke up, I was like, "Ooh, it's cooling! It's cool. Morning's a cool morning." So I know I feel it, and I love August. Oh my gosh, the changing, the fall colors, love it. All right, so well, that's the plan, and but nonetheless, I have to come back because my numbers are already for the week is already messed up, so I haven't been forking it out. Now my the numbers like watch hours have gone up, but it's I can tell where I start to sort of get laxed. So I don't know what to do with this sort of like week by week, but I mean, I mean, it does translate into, I guess, like what is it past like was it 20 something days or 2 weeks or something like that? It does something weird where it still calculates, but it's nothing like having a strong week. I notice it's because I'm really into patterns, and so I'm like acknowledging that. I'm like, how do they do that? That's insane. Um, I guess he's got a handle on it someday, and it's just a process. But I definitely see, the what do you call it, the reward in it. So yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Um, I I probably am gonna struggle with like completely. like yeah, I don't think I think I want to stay with industry. Stay in the confines of the industry because honestly it feels it gives me some sense of security. It feels safe, and then the extension of like do my YouTube channel, which is my personal website where people can come find me and ask. Like today somebody asked a very specific question: how do I develop psychic abilities? How do I start my journey to getting better at it, and manifesting and things like that in this from the psychic perspective. So yeah, you definitely, this is where to find me. Website. This is the website. Like I know where to. Also, yeah, like if it's like an urgent and you're like email, I live in email, so but you don't have to reach out through email. You can just wait till I go live because there's no doubt I'm gonna go live. So yeah, on my YouTube channel specifically. So yeah, there's always a way to, locate me, so to speak. Something comes up, or like you have a issue with something that I'm doing, whatever. All you have to do is come here because I am live in real time, and you can like message. So, and I'm making it that way because this can also be a place where people kind of leave feedback. Because, yeah, they leave feedback. I have 5 stars, in my platforms, but, this is, I guess, is based on like, okay, so what are people saying, regards. And I know the difference between, because I know what is your expert opinion, like for, as a professional or as personal. So, I'm not referring to personals. I'm saying like my appearance or something. No, I'm like, no, what about the gift, the skill, the knowledge, the education, the history, those are the things that I'm probably like as a critique, I'm more likely to like consider. If it's well crafted, it has to be well crafted too. You know. Anyways, I will be back in heaven's willing, I'll be back soon. I'm gonna leave it there.